You need to consider these players in week one if you want to win big money in DraftKings. So we're here. The season is finally back. Oh, thank God, because I was so tired of betting the preseason. But it's week one. We have real games now, which means we have real money on real lineups in DraftKings. And that's what I'm here for, to help you pick the right stacks, the right dart throws, and the right players to win some money, get some extra cash, put that money into your pocket, and buy yourself something nice, because we all deserve something nice. Let's get right into it, though. And as you can see on the bottom right here, our main stack is going to be the Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, and Tyreek Hill stack, because this game is poised to be an explosive battle between two high-flying offensive schemes. Right now, last I checked, Vegas has this game sitting at 46.5, and that's something that we like to target. Games that are between 45 and 50 are games we want to target, because we realize that both sides of the ball are going to put some points up. And let's be honest, Vegas is rarely, if ever, wrong. They usually nail it because, well, this is what they get paid for. So we're going to look at it, and I am leaning more on the Charger side than the Miami Dolphins side. You know why? Because they have the fifth fastest pace of play in 2022. And when you combine that with the new offensive coordinator, who is aggressive and likes to push the ball down the field, and oh yeah, don't forget, now Justin Herbert's healthy, the offensive line is healthy, Mike Williams is healthy, Keenan Allen is healthy, the whole team is healthy. We are finally ready to go with the Chargers. And I think this is the time, the year, everything's in place correctly to have this offense flourish and have Justin Herbert be an MVP. And we want to target the Miami Dolphins defense this year, especially with Jalen Ramsey out, because last year they allowed 19.6 fantasy points per game to the quarterback, which was the second worst in the NFL, which is why we want to go for Justin Herbert over Tua Tagovailoa, because Tua is missing alignment as well. But let's keep going in the Herbert, because he's facing a defense that has allowed the fifth most yards to quarterbacks. They tied for the fourth most passing touchdowns and even allowed the second most rushing yards to the quarterback position. Justin Herbert, like I said, is healthy this year. So this cautious approach, the little dink and dunk, the low A dots, that's gone. It's time to bring out that Brett Favre, that gunslinger, that ability to go down the field. And that's what Kellen Moore likes to do. He's an aggressive down the field play caller. So we should see a lot coming from Justin Herbert this year. And I want to stack him with Mike Williams. Now, here's the thing. Keenan Allen is that PPR safe floor option. So if you're playing cash, maybe you want to go that route. But you play in GPP, you're going to get the lower rostership percentage out of Mike Williams over Keenan Allen. And you got a shot at a bigger boom bust. Yes, you might get a zero, but if you're playing the GPP, you're not trying to come in 27th place. You're trying to break the slate and win it all. And Mike Williams has that ability to do that. And if you're not comfortable with Mike Williams, I will give you one more quick option, which will be Keenan Allen, because the Dolphins allowed the third most touchdowns to the tight end position. So we know that Keenan Allen can be played. We know that Austin Eckler can be played. We could just found out that Gerald Everett is sneaky. But we're looking here at Mike Williams. And I expect his rostership to be about 14-15%. With Jalen Ramsey out, we have Mike Williams, who can line up all over the offense, possibly going up against Eli Apple, because yes, there is Xavier Howard, but they're going to try to match him up with Eli Apple, because why the hell wouldn't you? Eli Apple is, well, let's just say it, he's trash. And let's talk about Mike Williams, because okay, maybe Xavier Howard is going to handle one side, and that's what he likes to do. He's usually on the left side of the defense. Well, Mike Williams was used 30% on the left outside, 26.7% is the left slot, 23% on the right outside, and 19% at the right slot. Like I said, he is a boom bust. We know that. We've seen enough of him to know who he is. But you want to win that GPP, you got to go for it. You got to risk it for the biscuit. And we're going to have our bring back doing almost the same thing in Tyreek Hill. Now, let's be honest. He is the fastest man in the NFL, and he has the ability to change a DFS slate like that. One snap of the finger, Thanos style, and the whole damn thing goes away. And it's all about him. Now, we're talking about a guy who averaged 12.3 yards for his depth of target last year. He had 502 yards after the catch in 2022, and he had a 30.4 target share last season. Let me say it again. 30.4 target share last season, and he was targeted on 31.8% of his routes. That's absolutely machine-like numbers. And Tyreek Hill, is a machine on the road, which is what's happening this week. He's on the road against the Chargers, and he scored 225 of his PPR points when he was on the road. He had 300 something. It's mind-boggling. And DraftKings is a full PPR site. Ignoring him would be the most foolish thing you could do this week when it comes to DFS. And let's talk about being foolish. Foolish is taking the wrong dart throws. So I'm going to give you a few dart throws here. And one of my favorites, which I don't know if you can really consider him a dart throw, but DK Metcalf, I feel like is being overlooked. He's got the size we want. He's over 6 feet. He's got the weight we want. He's over 215 pounds. I sometimes like him over 225, but he's a big, dominant wide receiver, which is the type of player we want because he could break the slate. Now we have a Jackson Smith-Njigba who is coming and possibly playing, but he's coming with an injury. We have Tyler Lockett, who is hit or miss. We have DK Metcalf facing the Los Angeles Rams without Jalen Ramsey now, and here are his averages usually. He averages 4.5 receptions against the Rams. He averages 65 yards against the Rams, and he averages half a touchdown against the Rams. This is the average of 14.5 points. Average. If Jackson Smith-Njigba is out, or if he even plays on a snap count and he can't really do as much, and we're facing a Rams defense that, for lack of a better word, went fruit ninja with their salary cap and just cut everybody on the roster. Imagine what DK Metcalf is going to do to these guys who are going to be State Farm agents in a couple of years. He is going to dominate them. It's going to be sad. It's going to be pathetic for the Rams this year. I don't think it's going to be a good year. And this is the year, the week, especially week one. Don't get too fancy. I like Jackson Smith-Njigba, but let's wait. We know DK Metcalf's big. We know he's fast. We know he could do everything. He's explosive. Put him in your lineup. So far, I'm telling you, Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf. You know what happens now? We get one more big guy, and then I got to give you a couple of tight ends to save some money. And those wide receivers, those big priced wide receivers, and I'll let you choose which one, A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith. And the reason why is because Jack Jones is dealing with an injury, one of the cornerbacks for the New England Patriots this week. And the other one is a rookie in Christian Gonzalez. And he could be good. But a rule of thumb in DFS is target the cornerbacks that are rookies because teams do that in the NFL. And again, follow what teams are doing in the NFL. If an NFL team says like, hey, there's a rookie, let's see if he's any good. Let's force him to beat us. There's going to be a ton of targets going at him. You can go A.J. Brown if you want to. I'm fine with that. Big, heavy, matches all the things we just said about DK Metcalf. You can also go Devonta Smith, small, speedy, amazing route runner. Either way, I think you're fine in this game for who you pick out of the two. Save a little bit of money with Devonta Smith. Just play the percentages there. Whichever one of those wide receivers has a higher rostership, go to the other one. Again, we're trying to win a GPP here. We're not trying to cash. If you want to cash, go for the safer option. That's fine. For me, GPP, check that rostership. They're both going to get their time and chances against Christian Gonzalez, and these cornerbacks are rough. So whichever one you're more comfortable with, go with. And I would pair them with the Eagles defense because the Patriots offensive line has been atrocious. They were bad last year. I believe they allowed top 5 most sacks in the NFL. And this whole entire preseason, they've been dealing with injuries and mistakes and issues. The Eagles defense had 70 sacks last year. And all they did, well, they added Jalen Carter on top of it. They added Nolan Smith on top of it. So if you want to pair your wide receiver to a defense, which is a unique correlation, which again allows you to jump the ranks in DFS and jump all the way up to break the slate and win the thing, I think you should do that. Now, real quick, some players I think you should focus on. Isaiah Likely, he's really cheap. I believe he's $3,000. If Mark Andrews does play, I have a feeling he's going to be on a snap count, especially with the Baltimore Ravens just probably dominating the Houston Texans. So you can get a lot of Isaiah Likely doing some stuff for your DFS lineup, and his rostership will be lower if Mark Andrews is in. But if he's out, it's an absolute given that he's going to do something within this offense. He always does. He's fast. He's athletic. And every time Mark Andrews misses the game, Isaiah Likely did something special. We're also looking at Luke Musgrave because we know that Christian Watson is out. Romeo Doubs might be out. And that'll leave it up to Luke Musgrave and Jaden Reed for DFS and for the Packers. And here's the thing, Jaden Reed's going to have a higher rostership percentage because, well, people trust wide receivers more than tight ends. So you zig while they zag, and you get Luke Musgrave, who is just an absolute freak of nature when it comes to size and speed and athleticism. At $2,900, if you put all those big names that we've talked about earlier, plus a Luke Musgrave, that lineup's going to work pretty well. And here's my final play, which is going to be Deion Jackson. Sometimes you have to eat the chalk. There's going to be enough people on it, but you got to have some people to eat the chalk. And he saves you so much money that you can move up to these Justin Herberts, Mike Williams, Tyreek Hills, A.J. Browns, come back and get Deion Jackson. He's a good pass catcher. He's probably going to be the RB1 for the week against the Jaguars. Yes, Evan Hall will be used, but you got to take the shot. He's under $5,000. You got to save money somewhere. And if you told me I can get a guy that I know is going to get at least 10 total touches, possibly 15 to 20, I'll eat the chalk on that. So that's pretty much it. Now we'll talk real quick about one more defense, and I'm going to give you one line here. The Washington Commanders defense is going to be like 40% rostership ownership. I'm not touching them. Whenever I get it, they're playing the Cardinals, it's fire sale, trust the process, all that fun stuff. We've talked about it on the show before. If 40% of the world is playing the Washington Commanders, that is an easy way for me to build leverage by going elsewhere. Just go elsewhere. And a team that is a little sneaky is the Las Vegas Raiders. A couple of guys that can create monstrous sacks and pressures. And like I've told you before, sacks plus pressures equal turnovers, which equals DFS points. So hopefully some of these plays help you win some big money this week in week one. It's finally back. We finally have real DFS, real NFL. I'm so excited. Everybody remember to like, comment, share. Tell me who you won in DFS this week, because let's help each other win some money. Let's get rich off this together, and let's go win that cash, baby.